season 7.
Inakuja.
And welcome back to Jeff Koinane live at the Villa Rosa Kempinski. What a view! And on this first show of 2016, we've got a man who doesn't fear being hated. I keep telling him he's hated. He says no. Machakos County Governor Alfred Mutua is on the bench, and the tweets are coming in so thick, so fast. I got to read some of them, Governor, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Titus Muasia says, this is a man who has proved a leader and not a politician. We love him, and kudos, sir. Sammy Murugi says, Politics 101. Alfred showing other leaders who have been in politics that this you talk, I implement. No greed. Okay. I guess a couple of people like you then, Governor. Monake says, I think he's corrupt, but at least he's doing something unlike Kidero. Oh my.
Hiyo nakata nayo.
Hiyo wacha nayo.
Hiyo mambo kusema hiyo.
Okay. Kanyi Mwangi says, ask Mutua to sort out roads in Syokimau.
Exactly my
Syokimau.
Yeah, you know, Syokimau is it's where the urban area of Machakos is. You know, it's a beautiful area. Our problem is that it has black cotton soil. But the worst problem is that it's a victim of corruption. Because in Syokimau, they had a municipal council that actually did nothing in terms of building the road. They were just allocating plots. Watu wanajenga, no services. And they gave permission to people to build on riparian areas, block riverways. So all the water, instead of going where it's supposed to be, comes and floods the roads. Yeah. It's a victim of corruption of the last municipal council and their mayor and all those people. That's a problem. I have put in about 30 million on Syokimau roads. And when I look, there's nothing showing because of the corruption. So it has to be a major work. Syokimau is part of the list of the roads that I'm constructing. I'm constructing from Katani to Joska.
Katani is the one that they're complaining about. The other one.
Katani to Joska is impassable. I tried to go there, got stuck myself. Myself, I got stuck. Katani to Joska, it's black cotton, rich soil that water is passing underground, that it's so thick it's coming out. But we are tamaking Katani to Joska starting this month. We are working on Syokimau roads starting this month. We are working on Masinga to Kibandini, Matu to Kibandini. We are working on 18 roads starting this month.
And how soon before people see results?
Within the next 4 months, we should have tarmac within the first 5 to 6 kilometers of all these sections.
Okay. Would you call it Katani? What's that road?
Katani to Joska.
Yeah, and Syokimau.
And Syokimau roads and many other roads.
And they can hold you accountable if it's not done?
Within the next 4 to 5 to 6 months, there will be with tarmac the beginning of the road. And I have a system, the way I want to do it. It's like this one. So you take Katani, you take Joska. Those are the big towns. Small villages in between. So you start with where the high population is. So you start in Katani, you do 6 kilometers. And then you move the equipment as we tarmac now to the other side and you do 6 kilometers. Then you leave this gap in between, that's basically no man's land, you know, but it needs to be connected, you know, and then we start working on that. But by that time, people in the Katani area, which is the majority of the people, and people in Joska are actually enjoying their life, going home and, you know, they're not getting stuck. And then people are actually seeing results. They don't have to wait for barabara yanzi hapa, iishie pale many years to come.
Okay, someone else asked, a lot of the contractors that you've employed have not been paid.
Yes.
They've been complaining they haven't been paid for months on end. Tens of millions of shillings.
Oh, and I'm not paying soon. You know why?
Tell me.
Because what happened is this. There are some very good contractors which we've been paying and we are continuing to pay. But, and this is where corruption comes in. You find that people, for example, Syokimau roads, a tender was given. The roads were done. People are paid part payment. What happened to the road?
Terrible.
We have a lot of briefcase contractors who come, they say they're going to build an ECD. They do it up to here. They connive with my government officials. They are paid as if wamefika hapa. Then they vanish. Then they start asking for more money. I have sent a verification audit team to the ground because wananchi have to hold me responsible. How can I pay for work that has not been done? Yawa. Some people watu wengine jomoko yawa. I'm not going to do that. Haye ninalea. I have refused. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. Kama hukufanya kazi au lipi na Dr. Mutua nipeleke kotini.
Umekataa.
Nimekataa. Lakini kama ulifanya kazi, you wait for the verification to end, the auditors to end, to finish. The other thing is contracts that were overpriced. Overpriced by my people. Nimeambia watu kama renegotiate. Kama kibanda ya soko wewe ukijijengea ama nikijengea will cost me 2 million. Why is it costing 6 million? See, that means that we can build 2 more for that amount of money. Right. This is not my money. This is money that belongs to the taxpayers who are heavily taxed in this country. Why should I just pay people because wanasema walipwe? Silipi, lakini kama ulifanya kazi yako kwa hakika, verification has been done, the auditors have cleared you, including the National Audit Office in Nairobi, I will pay you. But I'm not parting with a shilling just because you're making noise, because I have a responsibility to protect the monies that belong to my people.
Wakupeleka court.
Waenda kotini, they can complain all they want.
Doris Mbaya, one of my colleagues at KTN, she says, Mlolongo is a mess.
I'm telling you.
Trucks, matatus, overlapping.
Let me tell you, this is where I'm saying we need Mandeleo Chap Chap. Because we've had the former police commissioner, General Ali, used to say that there's something wrong with the way our people used to think. Think about it this way. Which side of the road do we drive on?
Left.
Left-hand side, sindio? So you're coming from Mombasa. Majority of cargo comes from Mombasa, sindio? Inaenda pande. So it's driving on which side of the road?
Left.
On the left. So where do you put the weighbridge?
On the right.
On the right-hand side. So you have to come and do a U-turn, block the traffic, cause a village. Instead, so who put the weighbridge on the right-hand side, whereas the trucks are coming on the left? Who was thinking about it? I don't know. I was not there.
Which idiot was that?
I don't want to call them an idiot. They might have had a reason for it. I don't like insulting people. But however, and all these years nothing has been done. Now we've pushed them, and now we are doing a weighbridge. Kenya is doing it on the left, so that we can take care of this Mlolongo.
Will that ease that traffic in Mlolongo?
It will mean that trucks come, enter, and they go. There will be no traffic in Mlolongo because the trucks going to Mombasa will have their own weighbridge. Unaingia, unatoka, and then we clean up Mlolongo. What I've done is within the town of Mlolongo, I have cut all those roads because I'm building 13 towns in Machakos. Imekuwa tuna mchanga. I'm tarmacking the towns. Tumeanza. We've already done phase 1 where we've solidified. Now we're about to put in the tarmac.
Don't say things that you can't fulfill, eh?
We have done it. Already 11 of the towns, Kakoyoni, we've already done it, Mwala, Kimutua, Masinga town. We've already graded, we brought it to substandard to grading. We're putting culverts. Now this season we've been delayed by El Nino. We're just about to now lay the tarmac. We've already laid part of the tarmac in Mwala, round 1. We'll do another coating in Mwala. We're doing another coating in Kimutua. These are ongoing. By the end of this year, the 30 towns we publish will all have to. Why? Because I don't want dust. We have to accelerate to the first world. Inawezekana na itawezekana na Maendeleo Chap Chap.
No wonder Senator Mutua just hates your guts, man. I tell you, he just hates your guts. You're doing things. Well, let me read one text here. I got to read this text because it's a guy from not even from your county.
Yes.
Guy's name is Tony Moravi. He's from Kirinyaga County. He says, Jeff, Governor Mutua is the best example of what responsible leadership can do. He's an inspiration to me. I believe if he was the governor of my county of Kirinyaga, it would not have cost our county 2 million shillings to open a Facebook account.
Do you want me to respond to that?
Please.
I don't like talking about other governors because they are doing a lot. And Machakos also is not perfect per se. We have a lot to learn. I always say that, for example, Muranga has a very good agricultural program that I like to borrow from. You find Kericho with some of the things they are doing. My friends in Migori, my friends in Meru. There are some things we can learn from each other. So each county has its own challenges. What I have noticed that if a governor is not careful, they'll be taken for a ride by the officers. When you hear wheelbarrows being bought at 100,000 shillings, the governor was not aware. These things are being done.
Come
These
on,
things
where
are being
does
played.
the buck stop, Governor?
No, it's, let me tell you.
People are doing things under your nose that you don't know.
The governors cannot micromanage. It's a government you are running, cannot micromanage each and every procurement process. You are running, you've got 5 to 10 billion. You cannot micromanage. You are approving everything. You cannot do that. Things are approved, papers are bought, and the old system. You know, people ask me, you worked for Mwai Kibaki for nearly 10 years. What did you learn? I tell them, I did not learn how to do things. I learned how not to do things. You find that President Uhuru Kenyatta talked about the other day. People don't follow market prices. You find this because it's government, it's charged more. You know, if you can buy maybe a pen for 5 shillings at the supermarket, government buys it for 50 shillings. Why?
Yeah.
And yet we are buying in large stores.
We saw that at Devolution, by the way, but that's another story. Let me ask you this, Governor. Are you ready for a lifestyle audit? Did you say that you're ready for a lifestyle audit?
I am the first governor to go to EACC and tell them, investigate me. Look at my lifestyle. Because what is corruption? Corruption is when you steal money and you can tell immediately where that money is going because it changes your lifestyle. You have things that you cannot afford. You are living beyond your means. You are building apartment buildings. You are building funny things you cannot account. Where did you get the money from? You're buying property. Your children are going overseas for school. You can't account where you get that money. You know what I mean? So a lifestyle audit is to keep us in check, and I hope other leaders will do it.
You ready for that?
I've said I took and agreed to be, I'm the only governor. I went to ACC and said, here's my bank accounts. Here's a letter authorizing you to open all my bank accounts. Please investigate me. If you want to look at anything, come to me. I'm open. And I requested the rest of my officers, because I want to be the only clean one and surrounded by, funny people.
Yeah.
I said, all of us, we undertake a lifestyle audit.
Are they doing it?
They're doing it. And they're telling me they're continuing.
You're saying you're clean, Governor. You're saying you're clean.
I'm clean. I've never taken a shilling that belongs to anybody. I cannot be successful the way I've been in my own little way of rising from poverty to where I am if I was a thief. Because if you take what that does belong, if you start stealing, it comes back to you. This is public money, and I think I told you this story. When I was campaigning, I went to a shop, actually in another county, and this mother, I stood there. She did not know who I was. She was ordering chumvi ya kijiko, mafuta ya kijiko. Umeelewa? And I asked her, mbona unanunua chumvi ya kijiko? Chumvi ya kijiko, unapewa. Spoon, ile kidogo tu. Nikauliza kwa nini all week niko na shilingi 100. Hii shilingi 100 nimenunua sukuma, nimenunua kaunga kidogo kakupima, sasa nataka kwenda kupikia watoto wangu ndio wasilale njaa. That is a woman, when she's buying these goods, she's paying VAT. And a bloody stupid politician starts stealing that money. Come on, it's inexcusable.
And I called the guy idiot, and he said idiot wasn't a good word.
Well, we talked about the road.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
The engineers,
But I agree with you,
but you know what I mean?
21st century.
That is the problem facing this country. That we have been, tulinyakua uhuru, tukaanza kunyakua mashamba.
Boss.
Na tunaendelea kunyakua mali ya wananchi. And that is when President Obama was here,
yes.
He said, Kenya is a great country. President Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta. Kenya is a great country.
Yeah.
But you are promoting corruption. The Pope came here, talked about corruption. If we fight corruption, if a road costs 650, let it cost 650. And I still think that is expensive.
Right.
It can be cheaper, because in Japan they're building roads, 100 kilometers for what we're building in 20 kilometers here. When will we ever catch up with the West? Because people, kuna story naambiwa, it's a story you've heard. These two guys, a Kenyan and a South Korean. You know the story.
I know the story.
Went to school in America.
Yes.
Both engineers. They went back to their home. Then the Kenyan went to South Korea. Akauliza South Korean, hey, I see you have a nice house, you have a car, your children, ulifanya namna gani? South Korea akamwambia, unaona ile super highway pale. I was the contractor, I was the engineer, but I kept 10% for myself. Good. The South Korean came to see the Kenyan about 5 years later. Akutu jamaa yuko na palatial home, magari 200, mashamba kila mahali, kona zote mashamba, pesa nyingi. Akamuuliza, my brother, how did you do this? Kambia, come, you see that super highway back there? Korean akaangalia naona tu nyasi. Hakuna super highway. Akasema, where? Akasema, I kept 100%. That has been the African story.
Yes.
Eating.
Yeah.
Gluttony.
Absolutely.
And that is why we are poor. Mandeleo Chap Chap is about integrity. And we are saying we have to speed up development by squeezing the shilling, seeing what we can do with that shilling, being creative, cutting down on luxury, cutting down on waste, and putting that money directly on projects.
Will they let you implement it, Governor? Will they allow you that space?
That is why I'm making it a movement. It is not my movement. It is our movement. That's why I'm inviting all of us to be friends of Mandeleo Chap Chap.
How does one join?
You decide you want to be a movement member. We are setting up a website. You join in. We start the conversation. Today I opened a coordinating office in Nairobi.
I saw that.
And we hope to open more in the country so that people can come in and we share ideas. We decide that this is where we've reached in this country. You lived in the US. I lived in America for many years, like you did.
Yes.
When it comes to political rhetoric, Kenya, we're in the top 10, number 1, 2, 3. I don't think we're beating anybody in the world.
No.
But when it comes to development, we're number 80th poorest country in the world. When it comes to political noise making, Americans are huku chini 133. But when it comes to development, they are upper Jew, number 1 in the world.
Yeah.
That is our problem. We play too much politics. You would think that tomorrow is the general elections, whereas our people are suffering. I am not, and this is why some of these people who are attacking me, who are coming up with things of slow down Mutua, do this to me, it's because I have not filled in the same shoes. I have not played the same rhythm that they have played. I like opposition politics, and I think keeping our government in check is good. I like when I see activists, I see people like Boniface Mwangi. I think at times he goes too much,
Sure.
but he's holding us. There's a place for Boniface Mwangi in this country. There's a place for opposition politics. There's a place for Raila Odinga, saying Uhuru's government has to be kept in check, has to do these things. But the style of doing it at times, I question how some of our people do things.
Yeah.
Because we cannot be on a political election fever at all the time. We need to be correcting people, but also we need to give them space to work.
Is there space
because
for
this is our country?
Is there space for Kalonzo Musyoka?
Where? You mean in Mandeleo Chap Chap or in COD or in we're talking about many things.
Okay.
There is space for everybody who wants to participate in Mandeleo Chap Chap. This is a movement that says it does not matter which party you belong to. It does not matter which religious group or which tribe you belong to. This is our country.
Is it a political movement?
It's a political socio-economic movement that says, let us change the way we think. Let us actually carry out our projects. Let's experiment. I mean, what phone do you have there?
I've got a Samsung SS Edge.
I mean, I've got, and when you got it, said, I've got the Edge, and I've got the iPhone. We've become consumers.
Yes.
We're all talking about the great phones we've bought. How many phones are we making as Kenyans? What are we manufacturing?
Yeah.
We've become consumers and users, dumping ground of what others are doing. We are not manufacturing anything. It's high time we have centers of excellence in this country where youth are put together to manufacture things. That is why I've put together a new city called Machakos New City, where we've signed memorandums, 1.8 trillion shillings with investors to come and put up factories, to put up hotels, to put up hospitals, so that our young people can get jobs.
Is that the same as Kansas City?
No, it's different to Kansas City. It is next to Kansas City.
Machakos New City.
Machakos New City. We have 4,000 acres of land. We want to start using 2,000 acres. President Uhuru Kenyatta came and launched it, and Kalonzo Musyoka was there when we were launching it.
Is that right?
And we are going to implement it.
Was he happy?
Yeah, he looked very happy because
Governor, you want to be president, don't you? In 2020, you want to be president.
No.
Can you be president? Can someone like you be president?
You can be president. I can be president. A child born in the village with no shoes today can be president of this country. We should not, at any time, curtail the dreams of our people. Any person in this country, any girl in this country can be president of this country. Any person who is a Kenyan can lead this country. All we need is to focus on Mwananchi, not just on the leaders. We need to focus on our people. What do our people need? What do they want? And how do we galvanize our forces together? Positive forces to be able to drive
Let me ask
our
you
agenda.
one quick question before we go to break. When you were government spokesman, you learned all this stuff from Kibaki, did you? You learned all this.
I learned a lot from Kibaki. I learned a lot from Ambassador Mudaura. I learned a lot from what I saw when I lived in Australia, when I went and lived in Dubai and saw the fast pace, when I lived in the United States, when I worked as a foreign correspondent. You were a foreign correspondent. When I toured the world.
Correct.
I learned all these things.
But you saw Kibaki doing his thing and you said, maybe one day I could be that guy.
No, I saw Kibaki doing his thing and I said, wow, it is possible if we added Chap Chap to what he's doing. Maendeleo, Kenya tutakuwa number 1. That's what I saw.
You're a smart guy, you know that? You have an answer for everything.
No. It's the truth. When you're speaking the truth, you don't even have to pause about it because you're not thinking about how to phrase it.
Yeah.
You're just saying about what you're talking about, what comes from your heart.
Yeah. I feel like I'm on Cobra Squad right now.
And you know the slogan for Cobra Squad?
No.
Failure is not an option.
Oh,
and that's how it is. Yes, failure is not an option.
Let's take another break. Governor Alfred Mutua from Machakos County is my first guest of 2016. And I tell you, he's calling it like it's easy. Pende msipende. This man, at 45 years old, watch this space. Haters, best line in the movie I saw and watched last year. Best line ever. Carry this with you if you don't learn anything from today's bench. A guy turned around to his friend because it's a story about North Korea.
Yes.
an unknown journalist gets to interview Kim Jong-un.
The interview, yeah.
Everybody was jealous of him. His producer turns to him and says, they hate us because they ain't us.
I like that.
They hate us?
Because they ain't us.
Hello. Although they said they hate us because they ain't us. Well, that's another story.
Mad. Yeah, we need to satisfy you.
At
And this gimmicks that you play here.
Dr. Alfred Mutua and Koinane, draft the hashtag Politics 101.
And tell them we've got a hashtag also called Maendeleo Chap Chap. When they get time,
That's
they
right.
can do this. When they get
Mandeleo Chap Chap. How do you
Chap
spell that? Chap Chap Chap.
Mandeleo Chap Chap. C-H-A-P.
Gotcha.
See, Chap Chap. Chap Chap. Chap Chap.
JKR from the Villa Rosa Kempinski takes another break. We'll be back in a moment. Chap Chap.